What is good, homies? This is Chris from the Small Hat Crew, joined today by Christos, Anestakis, and go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know why you are here today.
Hello, I recently topped the Liverpool Regional or Treasure Hunt. I played the new leader, which has 3 lives, which is unusual for the standards, as we were playing like 6k leaders, 6 life and 5k. So this leader was not in the map due to the Pasadena being full of Katakuri and Dolphin.
Right.
So I think I made a good meta call, piloting a new deck, which eventually won the tournament. Not me, but the other player. We were 2 in the top 32. We faced each other in the top 8, and one won the tournament.
Yeah, no, that's insane. Like, literally. So, and I'd say Red Purple Luffy was the meta call also. Him being a 6k leader makes it so that Katakuri swinging 7k, you only need a 2k to counter out of it. So it makes his leader ability a lot less powerful throughout the game. And then as far as Green Purple Dofi goes, it's one of those decks where it doesn't really have spot removal. So for the most part, anybody you stick on the board it's not going to be removed. It will stick for the entire game. But I guess with that being said then, we can go ahead and jump straight into the list. Take it away.
So I have some proxies because I borrow from close friends. So the good thing with this deck is that it can play first and second. So in the first 3 rounds, I lost all my die roll, and then I noticed that this deck is perfect for me. So the ramp is this card. So the must hands, either going first or second, are either this or the performer. You need 1 pump card, 1 ramp card, and 1 kid. This can change the whole game drastically. So I play for Miss Sandy. The trigger is not relevant, but in the end game you can use the trigger. In the early game, this deck must not lose a single mana, mana. So this is 3 Hawkins. I'm missing the 3rd one.
Okay.
Hawking is more of a 1k counter. It is the worst of the ramp, but
Right.
it is insane because you need to have like 11 hits.
Yeah.
To have, but it's the worst one because the other are more powerful. 4 lead performer, really good even in the trigger or ramp. Also, it makes the don't you activate, the don't you put is active, so you can swing for 7k, which is really good versus all the new leader because 6k now is not meta.
Right.
All the other leader are 5k.
Yeah. No, lead performer is great. It's just Miss All Sunday without the legs, no 5k body. Has and also at this point, so like it has an amazing trigger. You draw a card and you ramp it on. And just looking at the cards that we have seen so far, we have already seen 11 triggers that will ramp if they come out of. Go for
Also,
it.
this is more benefit because if it is from the trigger, you put the activate Dawn as active, so your events are alive, and it is if you go second, you can put it on curve.
Yeah. No, it's a great card. All right, next.
So the blockers are Fossa. I didn't in the beginning I play Chopper, but I wanted to have counter cards so that I don't gather many cards that do not have counter, because this card can be easily, as you have a 6k, this card can be useful for the 1 mana. It's more. It can be also counter and the blocker.
Makes sense.
This is one of the most broken cards because it loots. You discard the non-counter. It is blocked here, and it loots every round.
Yes, block, discard 1, draw 1. Card is.
It works with the trigger, with the blast breath.
Works with blast. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's because it is one of the only cards from the structure deck that actually gets the effect off on the opponent's turn also. The rest don't, but this one does. Amazing card. One thing I also really like about it too is because realistically, assuming you run 7 drop kid, there is always something that will trigger this ability every single turn, and then your leader just ramps the Dawn right back anyway.
Yeah, the good thing with this list is that you play 11 mana. Even if you do 3 and 7, it is 10. You put 1 back and you put it back with your leader, so you have 1 mana for event. I don't play the 10 mana Luffy because of that reason.
Yeah.
10 mana Luffy is only good if you have killed. If you have killed, you already are winning the game. And 10 mana Luffy is explosive, but it is off curve and you are tapped out, so you don't have option. I like to play all games. All games for this to have a better matchup. This build is really good.
I
So
agree.
the other blocker is Queen. So Queen is really good because most decks play Vista or Iso, and those are not so good. So
Right.
when your opponent attacks, if he has played those color, you first sacrifice the small one, so that Queen will be always the best blocker to defend.
Yeah, and Queen is also in this deck. Queen is basically a 4 Dawn 6k blocker. It's vanilla stats with block, draw 2, trash 1. Card is amazing in this deck.
Also, I do not like the new law. New law is really good in the lot deck, but in this deck, 4 mana, and you cannot lose 1 mana. You cannot be out of the curve. So I didn't like because in the old Whitebird, you didn't play the 4 mana Marco. You played more efficiency blockers like Bartolomeo and Fosa because you needed more power to attack rather than spend 4 mana for a Marco.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, because I know when I was playtesting Red Purple Luffy, back when I first, the minute this leader was revealed, I immediately said he was going to be good. People disagreed with that because he had 3 life. So when I was testing it also, I also didn't like the 10 drop Luffy. I didn't play that card because I felt like that card was only good if you were winning the game that turn. So that means every other turn he's in your hand, he's just a brick. He's a dead card that doesn't do anything. I also was not a fan of the law blocker either. For me, mostly though, it was because I didn't want to play any cards that minused Dawn until I had already established bodies. And I feel like by the time you can drop law blocker without taking yourself off curve, usually your opponent's hand was no longer big enough to be able to pull cards out of it anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree. Although the winning list was playing Law and Luffy, I think it is more greedy. I prefer to play all games and not have a disadvantage over...
Yeah.
Also, my metacall was not in the mirror. It is to focus against Katakuri and many kids. Kids is a weird matchup because he doesn't develop board. He only attacks 12-12 all the time.
No, I agree.
So those are my blockers. Now for the 2K, is 3 Sasaki. Basically, I play the best 2K counters I could, because if I need them to do something, I wanted to be at least useful. I could play like the wide barbarians, but I didn't. So for me, the best 2K counter is this one, the Khalifa, because
yes, I agree.
If things go wrong and you have 10 mana without doing anything, you play this one, and this card can attack for 5. Okay, -1, draw 2, discard 1, trigger the wire. Put 1 because only this card and the kit can ramp you to 11 mana because you lose 1, you put 1. So this is the best 2K blocker, 2K counter. Because
I agree.
If you,
Yeah, no, she's a 4-cost character. She's 4K power. So because she's 4-cost, the only way that, like, in the blue matchup they're interacting with her, the least Dawn they can spend to answer her is 4 Dawn for a 3,000 worlds. In the red matchup, they have to spend minimum 4 Dawn to answer her as well because Vista and Marco cannot reach her because she's just too big inherently. Also, she only takes 1 Dawn of investment to be able to swing 5 into opposing leader. She also doesn't cost any Dawn for her effect. She just minuses. So if you want, you can swing her, get the draw off of it, even if it's not connecting with leader's life. And finally, once you turn sideways, she is a blocker. Like, they have to kill her because every single turn she is queen on attack.
Yeah, you don't spend any counter for the All Sunday or nothing. You don't care about us. You take the advantage, take the trade, you value, and when you go to a certain position, like with Shanks or Kid or anything, you are so far ahead. This deck for me with the 4 Whitebird, 4 Marco, I believe it is stronger than Whitebird because it can, going first or second, if you go first, you do the 9 mana Whitebird plus event. If you go second, you're up at 10-4, which that was the problem with the old Whitebird. You go to 8, not 9. Yeah.
Another thing Khalifa does is, like, for example, because your Luffy ability, he gives you an 11th Dawn if you can minus a Dawn. If you don't have, like, 7-drop Kid on the board, for example, or you don't see, like, a Queen or something like that, you're probably not going to be able to use your leader ability. Khalifa will guarantee do it for you every single turn she's there.
Indeed. I played the best 2K counters to have in the... You can play whatever 2Ks, but I wanted, if something went wrong, if I had to make a trade, I would play Otama. If I want to go to 11 mana and draw 2 cards like Queen, if I cannot find the Queen, I want to have everything. If I play versus Zoro and I want to play something something to make a trade, this can do a ramp up. So I never summoned this, but I wanted to have the flexibility to do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a nice option.
So for the triggers, I play one Kavod. I didn't play for Blast Breath. I chose to play one Carbon because Blast Breath it is more for the late game because you don't want to miss one. And most people attack for 8, not 9. So this is like Radical Beam or anything.
Right.
And also I play this card. This card is amazing. All the purple decks are playing this card.
Yep.
Because you discard the bricks. You may also from the life, if you put it, if it is like in the early stage, the first life that you take, probably the first life you always take it.
Yep.
This you ramp it to 5 or to 4, and it's amazing.
And it ramps active, right?
Yep.
Yep, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
It's a really cool card, and it was always played in the purple decks.
Yeah.
And then the finish. I didn't play the 10 mana Luffy because I think it is really greedy. So I prefer to, even if going first or second, if I go first to have like 9-drop event, or if I go second to do, if I don't have the kit is always better than all the 9-drops.
Yeah. No,
to go like it. So my 9-drops were 4 Shanks. I only have 2 because I borrowed them too. Shanks is a bitter, and it's also relevant versus Brule and Begge, the green one. So its effect is relevant.
Yeah, I also like Shanks. So one of the reasons when I played Red Purple Luffy, I didn't play 10-drop Luffy. I played Shanks instead. And part of the reason for that was also Shanks can ignore things like, for example, if you're going against, I don't know, say Blue Yellow Queen, for example, Shanks ignores the Brule blocker, it ignores Boa blocker. If you're going against like into a black deck, it can ignore, come OPO5, it'll ignore like Rebecca blocker, for example. There's like Shanks will connect.
Yeah, it also trades the 8k attackers that annoys you.
Yes, and this Shank, because I played Shanks, that was another reason that I played the Otama, because it does come up sometimes. Otama a blocker, like a Dofi blocker, and then you just go with your Shanks and hit him, and it's over.
I didn't have that scenario, but it's a really cool play. Mostly the format I play was Katakuri, Kid, and so I play a Whitebird. This leader has the potential to go to 9k.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And this is the true power of the leader, that Whitebird always in turn 5 it is at 0 life. This leader can stay at 1 life.
Yeah, you can.
Because it doesn't lose in the end phase. And one Kaido. Kaido is like a 5th Shanks, but the thing is, if you play the Kaido, you have only 1 weak turn, because you go to 4 mana, then you go to 6. So the 4 to 6 is the only dead turn you have, but then you go to 8, which ramps you to 9. However, Kaido makes a 2-in-1 trade, because it kills the Nami, the blocker, everything, and it trades the other character.
That makes sense.
So it is mostly for board. It is not good as Shanks, but it's I wanted to have 6 cards, because you draw with Queen, with Wire, with Sunny, with this card, you draw with everything. So I did want to have options.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because I know when I was running it, I didn't run the Kaido. But you know, that makes total sense. I can see why you do.
The true part of the deck is that you can play both second or first. If you play versus a deck that wants to go second, you steal that from them. However, this deck can, if you go first and you go this, you run to 6, then to 8, then to 9 with ability. So then for the opponent has to face a 9-drop.
Yeah. You know.
Also, this is bust. This is the best card of the deck. This by far was the best card of the tournament. Most people have an out. I do not know how, but it buys you a turn, it develops, and it also makes your leader go to 11 mana, which is the trick of this.
Yeah, Green Purple Dofi has literally no answer to that card. Literally, that kid, if he hits the board against Green Purple Dofi, he will stay on the board for the entire game. It is so disgusting. Is that a poly I see?
This is the last card I play. This is like a 7-drop. Okay, but this is... I play test a lot in Sim, and this is like a 7-drop because you need 7 mana, but it ramps you to 8 to 9 with the ability of the leader. Also, this card this is now the meta call in OCG because they play 4 of these to counter Sakazuki the 4 drops. So for me, I wanted a card that can be anti-aggro, that can have potential to make the next key to buy me time. This card can, with 7 mana, can wrap me to 9. So I needed a card that will be versatile, and this card now in OCG, they are playing 4 copies, just to counter Sakazuki. You won't always have the 7 drop, but this is a powerful card.
Yeah, no. As far as your matchups go, what matchups, because this deck can go first or second, what matchups do you like to go first, and what matchups do you like to go second?
So against Doffy and Katakuri, you go second if you win the Darrell.
Right.
Against Kid, you can either go second. If you go first against Kid, they lose an attack. If you go second, you have card advantage. But the thing in this deck, you need to know which cards you keep in all matchup. In Katakuri, you always take the lives and you try to stabilize because you play 10 blockers. So you take all the lives and play like that, just like the old Whitebird. In the matchup that I will go first will be mostly all people who I lost the die will put me first. So I play versus Kid a lot of time first, which is fine. As long as you draw one of these cards, you are ahead, or Kid.
Yeah.
So in which matchup I will go first? If I win the die roll, mostly all the decks want to play second because I think versus Katakuri, mostly I will try to steal the second because the Kev is better.
Yeah,
but
no, I agree. It gets you closer to 8 Dawn. Oh, go for it.
In the top cut, you play 3 games, so you will play going first.
Yeah. A leader I'm curious about, because we didn't really discuss him, but he is very represented in the top. Or I guess just in tournaments in general, he's usually 3rd or 4th most popular leader. Any insight on the mono blue Crocodile matchup?
The truth is I have not played versus the
I
Croco.
see.
When I was playing Whitebird, Croco was a really hard matchup, really hard. But I think this deck can do really well. I am not 100% because I have not play tested. I'm mostly this is the OP 4.5 meta.
Yes.
It is between. Now it is the European season. In like 20 days, it will be the European season. So we will go to OP5. But I mostly built it to counter the Pasadena. This deck can really destroy those decks. The Kid, I beat like 4 Kids and Katakuri and Doffy. So yeah, I think versus Crocodile, I do not know the matchup at all. So I don't want to give say something that I do not know. I think it can go well. But I have not play tested at all, that's the truth.
No, that makes sense. Also, because this deck just inherently too, like the power play in green purple Dofi, it is the 10 drop Doflamingo play. One of the things this leader just has going for it is, if there is a turn where they ever do swing, if they do put 10 drop Doflamingo on the board, they're probably not attacking your leader that turn, because all 10 has been invested into the 10 drop, so the leader can't connect with you, the Namis can't connect with you, the Brooks can't connect with you. Usually that turn is just them playing a Doflamingo and passing the turn. It's just a free turn in that matchup.
That turn you anticipate it because you see so bad attacks, so you know that the 10 drop is coming. Because this matchup you don't go for the characters, because the characters cannot read 8k, 7k, it depends how many kids you have, because they cannot kill it. Also, you need to focus. If your leader is like 9k, you need to say to protect the kid, because people will try to kill the old Sunday. It is easy to kill it.
Yeah.
So if 8k, most people will go for either your life or the kid. It depends how much is your leader. If it is 7k, they go for your leader. If it is 8k, they will depend.
So like you mentioned, this is for OPO 4.5. What changes do you anticipate making for OPO 5, if you're still even playing this leader?
For OP5, I think the OCG meta is mostly Sakazuki. So probably this card will be, now they are playing 4 copies. So probably this is a must. But I believe the mono purple Luffy is better than this leader. This is 6k, but it has 3 lives. So this card has a disadvantage in the top cut. A really disadvantage in the top cut. You need to play fast. So for the OP5 meta, Sakazuki, as we see, is winning non-stop tournaments. So this deck, I don't believe it is the best decision. I think, in my opinion, I believe due to the Strawberry cleanse, which was not on the SG, and that made it, because when Whitebird had 4 Edwards and 4 Marco, he didn't win the tournaments. He was very good, but he didn't win the tournaments. The Strawberry version won the tournaments. So I believe if the cards are coming back, this has a potential to be really good, as Marco and Whitebird are more live in this deck. But as it is, I don't think in the current position that he can win versus the other Luffy or the Sakazuki. It is a cool game. For me, I made this deck to have fun. It was the most enjoyable tournament. In the beginning, I played this like 10 days non-stop, and for me it was a fun deck. After some rounds, I understand that the potential that the deck had.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also, because I was gonna, if the list, if they do remove like 9 Beard and other cards from the list, I do think it's a conversation to be out there. But I do think the list currently, like with the power play being 7-drop Kid, Sakazuki, he just answers it way too easily. It's not even just between his leader swing. He'll make it a 6 cost. He'll make your Kid a 6 cost. All it takes is like a Great Eruption or something for him to bottom deck it with the Borsalino. So I think it's going to be when this deck's entire identity is ramping to higher Dawn numbers than establishing big bodies, Sakazuki just removing those bodies just basically takes away your entire turn. So
I think if they have an emergency ban list or anything, or if in the Europe we will play all decks, like seven decks diverse format.
Yeah, there is also Christos did write an article just explaining the deck overall. It's very thorough. I'll link it in the description of this video. Is there anyone you want to shout out or anything at all that, any closing thoughts or anything like that?
So I would like to say some names. So I would like to shout out my close friend Achilles, Reggie, Jared, Vincent, Tutti for conducting me with you, and the 2 sponsors I have, the C4 Gamers and the Lord Cards, and all the friends who supported me. So of course Remy and Luca. Okay.
You like want to shout out like I don't know, your local store or anything that molded you into the player you are or anything like that? I don't.
Also, thank you for having me here. And see, the first place decklist is really good. The guy who won is a really good player with many tops. He has another approach to this list, but he's a really good player and a cool guy.
Yeah, no, and of course, no, thank you for coming on. I'm anticipating this probably won't be the last time that I do see you on the channel. One, because I do expect you to keep topping, so I do expect to see you again in the future that way. But also, I do have something currently in the works that I think is probably going to bring a lot of people in. Because I intend to create my own competitive scene where people can compete for, hundreds of dollars and stuff like that. So I'll probably see you there too. Who knows?
Give your best.
Okay. So I don't cut you off or anything like that. No more closing thoughts before I go ahead and end this video.
I think I told all the close friends I wanted. Sorry if I missed someone. We'll make a video probably. I will try to play a lot of One Piece. This format is really good, the OP5.
Okay, well then, I'm just waiting to go into OPO5 also. I'm not touching the game until we go into OPO5 again. But with that being said then, thank you for coming on again. And until next time, we will see you guys.